It's me again, Margaret. Hey, some of you may not get that, okay? Ray Stevens, thank you. Anyway, guys, welcome back to Truck Cab Devotionals. As you can see, I have a rider today. We're on a long trip, aren't we?
Yep.
It's a long trip. Hey, say hi to everybody. Everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, there you go. Savannah is in the truck cab with me today, and we are talking about, what? No, we're not going to do that again. We've already tried shooting this a couple of times because I couldn't get the name right. We're talking about Joseph today, one of my favorite stories. And let me tell you, as with anything, as with God's Word, it will not do it any justice. But hopefully we can show you Jesus, a little bit of Jesus in this story, because we know, and as I have pointed out several time and time again, that everything in the Old Testament points to Jesus. And you can see Jesus just littered throughout everything. You falling all over the cab? All right. Well, hey. Okay, so Jacob's growing up. Has 12 kids, and Joseph being one of them. He loves Joseph. He is his favorite child, and so much so that he gives him what, Vanna?
He gives him a colored coat.
A colored coat, a really fancy colored coat, and this makes his brothers really jealous. And and so what do they end up doing? You remember this?
Yeah, they end up selling him.
Selling him into slavery. You're right. And so he gets sold into slavery. He gets a really cool position in Potiphar's house, and then he gets falsely accused, thrown into prison, spends some time in prison, and then all of a sudden, when all seems lost, when things don't seem to be going right in his life, and he's earlier on, the reason his brothers were also angry with him is because he had a couple of dreams. Do you remember his couple of dreams? It was, they're like, we're not bowing down to you. Who do you think you are? But he has a God-given calling on his life, and so that leads to his brother's jealousy. Either way, so he spends some time in prison, and then Pharaoh has a dream about a famine that's going to take over the land. But before that, there's going to be 7 years of plenty. The only man that can interpret this dream is Joseph. And so Pharaoh calls him up. Joseph interprets the dream. He's like, hey, that's pretty good. You've got a good God, which we do, right? We've got a good living God, don't we?
Yep.
And so he elevates Joseph into this position, only second to Pharaoh. And then the rest is, you go read it. Read it for yourselves. I love this story, and it do you good to read it, listen to it, it's been preached on many times, and it's good for you to go back and read it because it's so rich with lessons to learn from all of it. And like I said, we are only scratching the surface on this. Now, you might be asking, are you asking? Where's Jesus in all of this, right? Okay, Jesus, okay, all right. So, loved by the Father. Joseph was just deeply loved by Jacob. Joseph, did I say that right? Either way, Joseph was loved by his father deeply, and so is Jesus. Jesus was so loved by the Father that he came into this world in the flesh, and God gave his only begotten Son to die on a cross for us, right? Joseph, falsely accused while in Potiphar's house. Jesus, too, was falsely accused and ultimately went to the cross because of that. But, despite all of that badness, okay, he gets elevated second only to God, right? So does Jesus.
Yeah.
This is where we see Jesus too, is because Jesus may have died on the cross, but what did he do?
He rose again.
He rose again. Yes, rose again. And he lives now to this day in bodily form, seated at the right hand of God, and that is exciting. Why is it exciting?
Because he
He's coming back, right?
Yeah, he's coming
That's
back.
right. He helps us through. We can find joy and peace and solace in the fact that our God, our living God, is coming back. Not as a servant this time, but as a mighty warrior, a conquering warrior, to take us all up, to live with him in all eternity. Guys, I was covering this in the podcast yesterday, and you guys are in for a treat, because this week you get double dose Truck Cab Devotionals and the podcast yesterday. So hey, and it's interesting that we are here because we are talking about both of that, guys. You know, that's where we see just a little bit of Jesus, and there is more Jesus in that story. Trust me on that, because you know, that's what it's all about. Our lives are all about Jesus. When things don't look like they are, just think about Joseph's story. When things don't look like they are going your way, God still has a plan. But and he's going to bless your life only if you choose to believe and trust in his perfect will and his perfect plan for your lives. I think that pretty much wraps it up, doesn't it? Yeah. We need to get on the road again. Guys, thank you for joining us this week on Truck Cab Devotionals. We'll see y'all next time.